Hi, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a great start to your Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Special shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day to all the dads around the world. And, whether you play one in real life or you're, you're a real dad, hopefully, you will be enjoying a good day today. Here for the watch along for the Stockholm Diamond League, which is a couple of days after Oslo on Thursday. We should be getting a lot of exciting events here. Really looking forward to the first race, which will be on track right away, and that it will be the women's 400-meter hurdles. Will feature the great Femke Bol, who has the second fastest time in the world this year of 52:46. Last night, if you were watching the championships for the NCAA athletes, you'd have seen a fabulous run from Sutherland there, Savannah Sutherland from Canada. She breaking Sydney McLaughlin's record from 2018 when Sydney was a first-year student at Kentucky. Massive run last night, a brilliant performance, equaling the second fastest time in the world from Femke, who did that a few weeks back. Also in this race is Dalilah Muhammad, the veteran, the woman that's been around for a long period of time, or Swangsung season, running a season best a couple of days ago, 53:34, in a sense, rolling back the years, if we want to use that kind of language. And I expect her to give Femke the most trouble. There's also Foloronzo as well. But this should be a comfortable run for Femke. Looking forward to see what we get here. Lots on track today. Looking forward to the final event as well. Men's 400 meters featuring Dos Santos, Varham, and Rai Benjamin, fresh off of that 300-meter world record or world best from Varham a few days ago in Oslo. The great Julien Alfred will also be on show. Tara Woodall Davis. The long jump for women will be fantastic. Mihambo is there. A bunch of women, and we'll get into some of that 100-meter hurdles. Ackera Nugent in the house as well. So lots of stuff to uncover. Hopefully you guys are having a great start to your day. And yeah, get your stuff in the comments. I know it's a early time if you're on this side of the world, but we don't get to pick up the when meets happen and the dates, and we're just happy that we can watch along. And so I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for the next few hours and for talking any kind of track and field in general as much as you want. I'm also kind of side angling West Indies Ireland as well, 13 for 1 in the first, this is the first or second over, second over of the T20. All right. Off to a clean start. As you know, Femke is using a new technique, attacking with a weaker leg first, and it didn't look like she did that, but she may have. But Femke Bol is already up on everybody and we're up on Woodruff there, and she's moving away. This is crazy running from Femke. Mohammed seems to be running well as well, but Femke will come off the turn. Should be comfortable. But Mohammed is coming back into the race. Ooh, it's surprising here. Oh my. It looks like Mohammed will come off ahead of... No, well, it's about the same. Mohammed is coming strong, but Femke Bol is looking really good. Really last barrier there. Comfortable run now. She's opening up on Mohammed. It's going to be quick. 52:12. That's a meeting record. That's now officially the second fastest time in the world. Second fastest time now, ahead of what she did a few weeks ago, and also equal last night from the Canadian. But Mohammed, look at that, 52:91. Oh my God. I thought Dalilah Muhammad was done. I thought she was just running the season to call it easy, to run around and say, look, I've done what I can. I was a former world record holder. I've gotten titles. But look at that, 52:91 from Mohammed, trailing Femke all the way. Lovely running there. And the kind of strength there still for Mohammed. I'm actually more impressed by this Mohammed run than even Femke, because we know this from Femke. We know she started the season much more measured than last year. she didn't run indoors the way she normally did. And so I think that's a way in which to think about what she would be doing later on in the season. But for Mohammed, who started to run much earlier this season, to getting into sub 53 shape, running a 52.9, can we counter out on making this US team? This is an interesting one here. 52.11, superb time. 52.91 for Mohammed, also equally impressive. Woodrup there in the end, coming through in 53.99. Yeah, interesting times here. Hi, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. I'm going to give you some updates in a second on some other events here. I think the pole vault is in progress. Last time I checked, Lavani was in the lead, but Mondo was just warming up. So I want to see what's happening there. That's in process right now. Real quickly, Curtis Marshall in the lead. They're at 580. So Mondo is at 560. I think he's probably waiting to come in again. So very early days in the men's pole vault. And I anticipate that we'll get something special. Will Mondo go for a world record here? I'm not sure. He's on home soil. Always wants to perform well when he gets to Stockholm. But we'll wait to see there. Yeah. Lots of good stuff coming up here at the Diamond League in Stockholm. A tremendous place to be. Kind of feel bad I'm not there, but maybe next time. The next thing up on the track will be the men's 200 meters, and that features Mena, who won in Stockholm, Fambule as well as there, but Kyrie King, Aaron Brown, not looking for particularly great times here. I'm not quite sure if anyone will go sub 20 seconds. Hopefully they do, but we'll wait to see. I don't want to predict things that may not happen, but let's see what we get from these guys. Men's 200 meters looking good in collegiate circles. If you watch the NCAs a couple of days ago, fabulous runs there, but not so much yet in outdoors outside of Kung Fu Kenny, and we haven't seen the likes of Letsili and Noah Take Flight yet. Both of them struggling with some injuries. Neither Aaron Knighton, so we have to wait a little bit. Collegiate guys doing a few things in the mix, but yeah. I think they were showing some pole vault from yesterday for women. I unfortunately wasn't paying attention here. So Vloon here in the men's pole vault, I think he's gonna attempt 580 here. And he hit the bar somewhat, but it stayed on. It bounced a bit, went up and down, stayed on. So probably a fair amount of luck there from Menno Vloon. Yeah, he hit it with fair amount of power. That should have come off. Hey, sometimes that happens in the pole vault. You hit it and it stays on. He can't believe himself there. But first time clearance at 580. That's Marshall there clearing at 580. All right, so next on the track will be men's 200 meters. I can quickly showcase the starting lineup there. Shouldn't be. I'm not quite sure. Mena impressed me in Oslo by coming back and winning. I don't know what we get from Fambule out there. He has the fastest time this season in the mix, 20:07. Mondo here trying to go over 580. It's like easy as you like for Armand Duplantis. Looks like he's still asleep. Let's see what we get from him as we get to the latter stages here. Yeah, so 200 meters should be on track next. I'm looking forward to that. Well, not really, if I'm being honest. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Julien and Alfred. I want to see what we'll get from that 400-meter hurdles at the end. Will we get a 4:06 clocking? We still haven't gotten one of those this season. I think Mondo is still, not Mondo, Varham is still the fastest time in the year at what, 47.2, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. Zodic here trying to clear 193 in the women's high jump, quite comfortable. So, yeah. I want to check on these high jump standings. That's also in process right now. Olislegas is there as well. Also, Yaroslava, Manuchik. This is a high level competition. Angelica Topic too as well. Topic also there. Elena Pattison, Vashti Khanna. This is high class, high jumping. Manuchek and Olislegas already over 195. First time clearance for both of them. So Topic is out. Something interesting. She got out at 191. So it's down to Olislegas and Yaroslava. Let's see if we'll get a 2-meter jump today. Yeah. All in the game, man. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, 35-year-old Dalila is having a great start to her season. Last season, the sport Shamar Little should consider trying to make the US 400 team instead of 400-meter hurdles team, given Sydney, Jasmine, Dalila, and Anna Cockrell. I agree with you on this. I was just saying earlier before you jump on that she's rolling back the years. I was surprised at that run in Oslo and how comfortable she looked. And to go sub 53 here and to hold Femke, you would say, in the mix up until around what, 3, coming off the bench, she was in the mix there. That is something special. That is showcasing a kind of form that I think it's unbelievable. I didn't think we would have gotten that. I thought when we saw Dalila running earlier this year, she was on the Diamond League circuit early and running. She was probably just trying to, go to places that she wanted to go. But to be running this kind of time at her age, I can't see her not making the US team at this point. So, as you might say, it's over to Shamar Little there. But we see what we get. This is interesting times. Last night, as you probably watched too, really good run in the women's NCA. Fabulous 52.46 there from the Canadian athlete. That was special to see someone breaking a record from Sydney McLaughlin. Well, yeah, good stuff there. Collegiate stuff last night, over the last few days, was good. 400 meters looked good yesterday for women. 4 hurdles for men. Steeplechase was fabulous too, and so a few good events coming out there. Men's discus I thought was really good. Mullins ahead of Alekna. Yeah, interesting times. Happy to talk about all of that stuff. They look like there was a recall gun here in the men's 200 meters. I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know if there's a disqualification, but we'll get to see. All in the game again is saying Shamar's at 49.68, 400 runner. That's faster than Alexis Holmes. Shamar should back herself to make the team along with Aliyah Butler and Isabella Whitaker. I agree. I like what I saw from Butler. Speaking of that, what you thoughts about Jamisha Ford? That I think I like her a lot. I felt there's too much running happening. in one day, running the 4x1, the 1, the 2. It's a bit too much for me, the way the NCAA structures some of these things. But Butler, I love what I'm seeing from her. Whitaker, fabulous, running down Henrietta Jager. When was it? A couple of days ago. A lot of strength there. I think Whitaker is going to be a 48 athlete this year. Anyway, we structure the U.S. women. They have what it takes, and definitely will have what it takes to run super fast over the 4x4. They're back in the blocks for the men's 200 meters, and there's another false start here, or maybe, or at least another recall gun. Let me see if I can find. So I think Brown is out here. Interesting here. Aaron Brown is gone. Yeah. I don't know how quick his thing was. Yeah, but I'm not sure what the reaction time is. We don't get to see that details here, but he clearly moved fast. He clearly false started. All in the game. More about South Carolina's lack of depth, as they don't have the big squad like Georgia, Arkansas, and USC. I've called Jamisha the best U.S. female sprint talent of the last 25 years. Rate her that highly. I like her a lot too. I think she's special. I wonder if her inability to win the 100 meters, because she was coming on the USC athlete in the 4x1, was it? Yeah. Probably a bit spent. And then a couple of days before running super fast, although sometimes the super fast times in Oregon will have a head scratcher here and there, but really, really talented athlete for sure. Our execution of the 100 meters isn't the best, but we're scratching at nitpicking for a young athlete. Much more time in the 200 meters. She has what it takes, I think, to be a super competitive on the global stage, all things being equal. I'd like to see it. But the way they used her is too much. I think it's too much, too much. She shouldn't be running all of those races on one day. And I get it, and I understand this trying to get points, but South Carolina was never going to win this thing anyway. So, yeah. All in the game. This is her first year running 100, and she's win legal 1087, 2198, 50, 33, and at 20. No, super talented athlete. All right, fierce start here in the 200 meters. I'll get to you in a bit, Sabit. Mane is running really good curve here. And there's a South African guy there, but Mane is moving away. 20.04. Positive 2 meters per second. So right at the legal limit there. 20.05 confirmed. Let's see if I get the official results here. So that's what 20.05 for Mena. Fambule coming in there at 20.32. Not particularly great running. This time of the season, you want to see athletes running sub 20, but I won't complain too much about it. Yeah. No, but to finish the point out in the game, I agree with you. That's some outrageous running there, and she has a lot in the tank. And I like her spirit too. She seems like the kind of athlete that will fight a lot to perform well. And while I appreciate her doing all of that stuff, I just hope, I think it may have took a toll on her body a little bit, but really talented. Sabi, how are you doing? Jamisha mentioned that she has been managing a hamstring sprain since SCs. Well, imagine that then. If she's running those type of times with, well, that even makes me wonder why she's running that much then, like, yeah, yeah. But hopefully she can take it down and then get to come back for nationals. Really talented. Yeah. So Alice Lega's here trying to go over 195. Let's see. Very clean. Very clean there. High knees in the build up. Exaggerated moves. Lots of space there. Probably has 2 meters in her tonight. And whatever she's writing in the book, I would love to get the notebook from Olislagas, because I'm telling you, she writes so much stuff. Yaroslava here, good power in, really clean too. Much better clearance here from Yaroslava. A lot more space between the butt and the bar. Yeah, fantastic there. Lots of space in the takeoff. All in the game is saying will be 3 years in July since Fambele's that last run sub 20. Crazy stat. Interesting. I didn't even realize that he hasn't gone sub 20 this long. Sam Kendricks there hitting the bar at what's that, 580. Jamisha should only run the 200 at US trials in 7 weeks' time. I agree. Should not mess with the 1/4. Go all in on making that 200-meter team. I would agree on that too. I'm not sure what the state of the US 100-meter team might look like. It's interesting space. You have to think, would Melissa Jeffers wouldn't there will be a shooing. TT Terry ran a decent time yesterday. Was it win-aided? It was win-aided, but she also running well. Interesting. Brianna Williams, what do you take on that all in the game? I've been saying this for a while. She's been stacking up some interesting running, kind of under the radar. Full season with John Smith. Low 11s there. 22 and change in the 200 meters. I like it. I think she's building a bit. And the space in Jamaica is open, I think. If you come really well, if you can get down to some good times, you should get on that 200-meter team for sure. The 100 meters for sure as well. There's a space, it's not, no one can make a call on that. Yeah. All in the game. I want to see Brianna in a couple of diamond races. Okay. Diamond League races first. So you're questioning the level of the competition here. You want to see her with some of the big girls. 3,000 meters on track in the meantime. Yeah, I think that makes sense too. She's been basically running these off meets, but I wonder if it's a John Smith thing, kind of quirky type thing. Also, I was planning to do another live or even a video to kind of address the Diamond League thing, because when I went live, just before we went live on Thursday, we saw that the Grand Slam thing got shut down for LA, and tough times, I would say. I don't know if you've thought about it a bit all in the game, but I've been thinking about Grand Slam since it started. I got some heat from people thinking I was negative about it, and I wasn't, in the sense that obviously I call what I saw, but I'm disappointed that they couldn't get it to LA and they had to take a decision to shut it down. There's a lot of reasons I think behind that, but I think they've been burning cash left, right, and center, and it's not hitting, and that's a challenge. And you never want to see track events just disappear, but it's a hard space to get into. All in the game again. Training partner Talu is running our second Diamond League race today. Yeah, Talu looked good the other day too. Yeah, Brianna should be doing the same like Dina and Julien. Yeah, you have to start running on the big stuff, the big stage for sure. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know the reasons why. She's she's with a good agency, good coach, Nike athlete. Should be running in these places. Maybe we'll see her in Prefontaine. Yaroslava here over 197. A little bit of a brush there, but good. Yeah. Sabir is saying having the GTS meets in the US is not going to work moving forward. They don't value track. I think there's some level of truth to that. The US market is a tough market to break into when it comes to sports. I was thinking about a lot of this. I was driving, where was I yesterday? I was listening to, as many of you know, the Club World Cup is happening in the United States right now. Last night kicked off. Miami played the team from Egypt. And I was listening to a British podcast, and I think one of the hosts was asking the journalists on the ground to kind of describe the fervor if Miami is like if the Club World Cup has taken over the space. And before the guy answered, I was like, it won't, right? Even if you had 3 Olympics going on in the United States at any given moment or a World Cup, nothing will take over the space so much, in the sense that it will have a major impact. It will have things, but there's so many things for people to do. There's so much entertainment, concerts, different sports. The US Open is going on, the Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals, you name it. The market is huge. And I understand why every sport wants to crack this market. And you have to do it, but it's a hard market to crack. And if you don't do your homework properly, it's a challenge. I think you have to have some of these meets in Europe. They have a bit of appreciation for it too. But there's also a level of animus, I think, between how the Europeans can always run track and then it can't come over on this side of the world the way they want it to. But let me just see what Alislagas do here over 199. She clears this at 199 first time. Very nice clearance too. Very nice clearance. So there's some interesting things there. And let me get back to all in the game. 3-day meets, 100,000 prize money clearly isn't sustainable out of global championships. I agree. I said this from the get-go. It should never have been a 3-day meet. By the time we got to Philly, they cut it down. It's not enough things happening there to make people want to stay. Track meets are always things going on. Look, high jump, long jump, something else is happening. You have to have back-to-back things, unless it's a relay carnival. Unless it's the pen relays and it's just going one thing to the next. Otherwise, first time clearance there from Yaroslava to, then you're going to run into problems, into significant problems. And as you said, should have been smarter with starting 2-day meets. I agree. The money is too much, because when you think about it, they had $30 million to start it up, but you have to have a massive team. You're also spending money in getting some of the facilities ready. You don't have the sponsorship, and you can't prove that people are interested in watching the sport. I keep saying they're cannibalizing on the existing track and field fan base. That won't grow the sport if you're trying to pay that level of money. It's never going to happen. Perhaps this should have started just after Paris. In retrospect, I know I'm Monday morning quarterbacking this, but then you could maybe splice off a few of those people. But you have to reach beyond the fan base of the core audience of track and field. If you are targeting all in the game, myself and Sabit and all these other people who always watch sports, you won't get the kind of money. When we did look at one of these one of the Grand Slam track, it was like 26,000 people watching on TV or across the networks when you saw the report from Nielsen and all these other groups. No one is going to buy that TV rights, or you can't sell the TV rights if you're not getting people to watch. Niagara there in the lead for the 3,000 meters. I totally took my eye off that. I apologize. But, there's a reason why the Olympics cost $4 billion to NBC, or you have to pay a big money for the EPL or the NFL and so on. And I'm not saying track can ever be in those spaces, but if people aren't watching, if you can't reach those audiences, it's a problem. And also, if you don't get people in the stadia, then what's going on? Stadiums have to be filled, not only because you're going to get a little bit of generation or gate receipts, but also it showcases to people watching on television that this is a space that you need to attend. You have to go because it's exciting. Look at the Diamond League here in Stockholm. It's not filled, but there's a lot of people in the stadium. And so you have to do that, and they fail on that big time. I agree. Drop the prize money. And they also need more star power too, I think. And that's a hard thing to get, because what they also want to do is to sign people on, and it takes money to sign people onto a league. We're talking about how much they're paying in prize money. But how much money did they pay Sidney McLaughlin to be a part of this? That's an interesting thing. So women's 3,000 meters, we're in a good space here. Chibet ran us a fabulous time recently. It's not going to be anywhere close to that type of time. It's already 8:16 and we're in the home stretch here, but it's probably going to be like 8:30 something here. Maybe 8:30, 8:29. So yeah, 8:30:01 there from Hall, I think. Let me see if I can find the results here. Yeah, so personal best for Lyndon here in the 3,000 meters, ahead of Chen Lagat and Fitzgerald. Good times still, yeah, good times. All in the game. Can't see new investors coming in based off those paltry TV numbers and attendances. Pretty sure it won't come back next year. Athos is primed to take its place, especially with talk of team-based model. Possibly, yeah. I like what I'm seeing with the Atlas thing too. And I want to make this. I know you know this, and I always saying this a lot. I really wanted it to work. I want any track and field meet to work, because the sport needs to be showcased. People need to understand that it's beyond an Olympic sport, and that day in, day out, you can get world-class performances, and some of the best athletes you'll ever see in your life are on show. When you go to a track and field meet, you get everything that is in every other sport. You have to have some skill, but you get speed, explosion. Oh, 201 there over by Olaslagos. 201 first time. Larislava on the ground looking like, oh my God, I got to come back again. This is high level, high jumping. Speed, power, strength, everything you're going to get. Personality, it's all there on display at a great track and field meet. So it's very sad, but a lot of money was spent, and it's tough. And it's hard to get people involved, because sport is a business. It is a massive business. It's not philanthropy. You can't say athletes need to be paid. I get it. Yapachino here in the long jump. But they have to be paid. I agree. But if the only way they'll get the kind of pay is if a lot of people are watching, if they're buying the product, and currently they're not. A lovely jump there from Yapachino. That's hovering around what, 680, 650s. Hard to see. Let's see what this is. Has some space on the board there to give. 689 from Yapachino. Can't believe she's Fiona May's daughter. It's crazy. This is how long you're watching track when you start to see all the kids of of people you used to watch when you were younger. Davis-Woodhall here, Olympic champ. Let's see. Kind of stutter step there, but over 7 meters. If that's legit, it's over 7 meters. And I don't think her steps were right there. I think she had to adjust midway, almost like she looked down. 7:05 there for Davis-Woodhall, and a lot of space on the board too to give. That's a big jump there from the Olympic champion. But yeah, I don't know if it will come back. I hope so, but it takes a lot of money to run this, and we don't know how much they spend on the facilities. We don't know how much money they spend on just signing the athletes. Athletes relations cost a lot of money. And many people were dogging Noah Lyles on the Cam Newton show. I saw parts of the clips there, and he was saying he didn't. And this was before he was Olympic champion. He was saying he didn't think that they were giving him the money that he believes he's worth. And I don't know what Noah is worth, but he has to know that number. And two, he didn't see a way in which even if he took less pay, that it would expand him to new audiences. And that's telling, interesting telling. Sabit said, wish Atlas would do away with the all-female thing. It probably can work. I don't know if I have a big opinion on that, to be honest with you. In the sense that I don't think there's a problem with them doing that. I think it's good for the sport. It's healthy, and maybe it might usher in a new era of fan base and because it's focused on that. I'll watch still. I'm going to support it. Yeah. But I know what you're saying. All in the game, trying to differentiate from the Diamond League by using a team-based model where you try to score points in a range of events like the NCAA Championships might be worth trying out, like Atlas is planning to. It makes sense. Yeah, a team-based thing was always interesting, getting training groups together. That would be neat as well. You go back to the old Santa Monica track club days, running in relays. If you could get like different teams to be a part of things, whether they're across the world, because there's enough team-based to, I know you have to have a league to structure it, but it would be cool if you could, for the bigger track leagues, the bigger track groups, rather, coaching groups, if they could say, all right, we need a long jumper to come if they have one. We need a hurdles person. We need this, and we pack them, and we're going to come to this meet for a bigger prize money that will be shared across because we win it like a team event. That I think there's something to that. That I would be behind that. It would also probably force teams to expand the type of athletes they have under their stable, but it would be difficult as well if you think about, say, if you only have a field events set up, a throws group, and there's no sprinting. But maybe there's some alignment there. That could be cool. I'm in for that. Yeah. Karalis, they're failing at what it looks like 590s out of the competition there. Yeah, so he's gone. So not really good jumping for him. He's a 6-meter guy. Consistently, no, you'd have to say. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So coming up on the track will be the women's 100-meter hurdles. But before we get that, Davis-Woodhall 7:05, Yapachino 6:89, Askag 6:60, Moore 6:63. It's really good jumping there so far. High quality field here. Mihambo is still down there at 6:40. Akila Smith there too. Spanovic is there. Claire Bryant, she hasn't made a mark yet. She had a fabulous indoor season. However, they lined up these women to jump today. Shout out to the meeting directors here at the Diamond League in Stockholm, because this is high class jumpers on show right here. Yeah, women's 100-meter hurdles coming up. Grace Stark having a lovely season, really good execution from her. Maybe a couple, 7, 8 hurdles she started to falter somewhat. But there's Vissa, there's Ackera Nugent, who should be contending for a medal this year as well. As long as she makes the Jamaica team. There's also Kenny, who's running good this year too. Season best of 12:40 for her. Alicia Johnson, Devon Charlton. I mean, you can just roll out of bed and assemble any number of women in the 100-meter hurdles, and you're gonna get fire and world class athletes on shore. So let's see what we get. And to finish the thing, I saw so I think Bobby Kersey wasn't happy with the cancellation of LA as well. I really think though that I don't even think they've managed gate receipts to pay for how much it costs to operate one of those stadiums. And that's a challenge. Whatever the base price is it to turn the lights on in Franklin Field or just to open it up. I don't think they recouped that money from gate receipts. And that is bad. All right, let's see what we get here. Should be really good running here from these women. I think, is this Akira's first Diamond League for the year? Possibly because she was doing the Grand Slam stuff. I can't recall her at any, so. It's really, well, there's a call back there. Something happened. There's a recall begun here. Kimani Evans, happy Father's Day. Shout out to all the dads around. Hopefully everybody's having a great summer. Yellow card coming across here. I don't know who's getting this. Looks like Alicia Johnson there out in lane 7. So she got a warning. Not quite sure what she did. Maybe she moved around a bit. As usual, I expect a great start from Grace Stark. Let's see what we get from Nugent as well. Oh, that's a lovely start there. Oh, Stark is away. And she's moving. Charlton also moving too. But Ackera is behind, but she's making a move now. And it's not. Oh. Grace Stark takes this much clean. She had this all the way. 12:30.33 here. Meeting record for her. Ahead of Ackera Nugent, 12:33. Vesta there at 12:49. This is a good run here. Let's see. Really, really good run there. Stark has been running really good this season. Lost that race when Danielle Williams pipped her in the Diamond League after she stumbled a bit. But I like what I'm seeing from Grace. Hurdling technique, nice, efficient there. Ackera was left back as usual sometimes, and she's trying to get back in, but just not enough to catch Grace. Good run from Nadine Vessa too. Unfortunate athlete too, running some super times and not getting on the podium as well. 12:59 for Devon Charlton. That's her season best. Kenny running 12:69. Not one of our better races there. I have to see what happened there. But 12:33, 12:37, fabulous running there. What's the wind? I didn't check the wind. The wind is don't know what the wind is. Yeah. Let's see what all. I'll get back to some of this. All in the game. Want to see Samba Mayela, who ran 12:31 last year and almost won Olympic gold. Oh yeah, fabulous athlete there. Ooh, Yaroslava is out at 2:03. So Olaslagas has taken the high jump because Yaroslava failed at 2:01 twice. Then she moved the bar to 2:03 and failed at that level. So lovely. Only one woman over 2 meters here. Yeah. Samba Mayela, I love her hurdling technique too. Really great athlete. I think she is hurt. I don't know if we'll see her before the end of the season. I don't know the extent of the injury. I'm not quite sure on that, but yeah, very good hurdling technique from her too. Pretty quick athlete too. So we'll see. I'm not sure what you're saying here, Collins. Kimani, I want to hear solutions for Grand Slam team. How can we get involved as a fan base? We can't allow Grand Slam to die. I don't know the answer to this off the top of my head. I have some thoughts. Okay. Oh, Claire Bryant here with a big jump. Is that legal? That's close to 7 meters. It's probably like 670 or so. We'll see when we get an official jump. Yeah, 667. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. It's not a lot of people have tried to come up with meets to expand track and field, and it's faltered for whatever reason. We saw that nitro thing that they started in Australia. It didn't work. They even had Usain Bolt there for a little bit. The quick shot here in the call room of the men's discus guy. I just saw the Olympic champion and also Czech and also Daniel Stahl. But in the 90s, in the 70s, there are different leagues popping up, and everyone tried to professionalize track and field, and it just never worked, right? For whatever reason, it's always coming down to the lack of sponsorship, the lack of resources. The question is, how can you turn what is the largest fan base of the Olympics into fans who would want to watch the sport? Now, there are some things that happen in track and field at the Olympics that can almost hide away the true fan base at the Olympics. So one, the reason why the track and field is gonna be the most watched part of the Olympics is because of it's in a stadium. It's always outdoors, right? It's huge. It's usually going to be a massive Olympic stadium, and you're going to get a lot of people. And people want to go to the Olympics because they just want to go to the Olympics. Whatever they get to see, they get to see. We'll see something interesting when we get to LA because they're going to put the swimming outside too. And so you will, for the first time, see a lot more people watching swimming, and you're going to might get a false sense that those people will want to be hardcore fans of the sport, or you can transform them. And when you watch it on television, it's the Olympics, so there's a fanfare there. You have to do something to get these people involved in the sport. That's always been an issue for World Athletics, but they seem fine. I think under Sebco, you thought things would have changed, but I think he's okay with what's happening. They run world championships, they make money, they run with the Diamond League. It works. There's money in the sport, they think, and they're okay with it. That's the problem, right? That they're okay with it. You have to now realize the potential for the sport. And maybe I'm just, I suffer from, because I like the sport, thinking that the sport can be bigger than it should be. And you need real true innovation. I never thought T20 cricket would have moved the way it did, especially in India, in a media market that seemed like it wasn't that big, but it coincided in a media market that started to grow as Indians got richer. And the power of the Indian Premier League now is so ridiculous that the billions of dollars around it is that it's one of the largest paying leagues you'll ever find. I'm not saying track and field can do that, but you need to work something there. A men's 800 meters here. This is going to be ridiculous. There's Kinyamal, Wanyonyi, Hoey is making his outdoor debut, I think. Bryce Hoppel. This is going to be a ridiculous run here. I was surprised how well Wanyonyi held off in the last race. I don't know what we'll get from him here, but this is going to be a really good Sedjati in the second race of the season as well. This is high quality field. So the only way the sport can grow, Kimani, is if you move beyond the casual observer. If they want to be invested in the thing. But I don't know. There's a guy on the channel the other day that made an interesting comment, and he felt like it's hard he wants to get into track. He's just now getting into track, but he feels like track and field is because most people, the best part of track and field is over in 10 seconds and less, and it's hard to sell the other things. And he has a point there, and I think there is a point there. But I'll riff on this in some more. Let me just watch this 800 meters here. I'm not quite sure what they asked the pacemaker to take them around with, which is probably like 49 or 50. He's going to go in and under 49. So about 49.75. I think Wanyonyi probably would have gone in maybe a shy slower. So Wanyonyi there is moving. He's motoring. Hoey's really pushing with him there as well. And I think there's Sedjati. And is that Hoppel in the mix too? But he's looking like he's gone. Hoey's coming with Wanyonyi. Wanyonyi likes to lead here. I don't know if he has the strength to hold off Hoey, but he's gonna push. This is gonna be super fast. It's like 130 right now. This is gonna be sub 142 for sure. And Wanyonyi is kicking, and that's Sedjati there too. 141.95. That's ridiculous running. That is super fast running there by Emmanuel Wanyonyi. Probably upset with his performance a few days ago. That is a good run, good tactical run too from him. Led all the way. Sedjati there with his usual big kick, doing a 142.27. Personal best for Josh Hoey too at 142.43. Tual there at 142.72 to season best. A lot of guys running really super fast times here. Yeah. I'll get to your comments in a second. Let me just get these results on the screen real quickly. Trying to get this back. I don't know. Yeah, that's the official results there. 141.95. Tremendous running there from Emmanuel Wanyonyi. All these guys running really good. I don't know what happened to Bryce Hoppel. Something must be wrong there. Surprised that Kinyamal running like 143. I thought he would be running better than that too. But let's get to some. Let me get back to some of your comments. Wayne, what's up? How you doing? I don't think Grand Slam track would work only in the United States. I agree on that point. We have too many sports and it's boring if the best runners don't participate, and they definitely would have to go international. No, I think you need to get in Europe. You need to get into other places where there's an appreciation for track and field. But also we have to remember that to break into some of these markets is not easy. You think about Oslo, that was sold out since February. Stockholm, Some of these places have these massive meets on the circuit for years, even Continental Tour. And if you just jump up with a track meet there without the proper marketing and this appreciation for it, and the timing too, the timing matters, you may not even get a lot of people there too. And Grand Slam track, as best as it tries to sign on some great athletes, and there is a number of them, sometimes when you look at the landscape of it, like, it's like a continental tour when you look at other athletes in the space too. So it's interesting. Mondo Duplantis there looking like he's ready to do something. Kimani says, can they pivot? How will they pivot? I don't know if they can pivot. You need money. They started with a $30 million investment to start the league. If you shut down the last event, that means you burn all that money already. And it's not cheap. You paying out millions of dollars to athletes when you calculate how many are there on prize money alone. And then you have to spend money on transportation, hotel services. I don't know all the details on this. Mondo trying to go over 6 meters here, and he clears that quite easily. Back to the athletes. Then you also have to pay appearance fees. So you don't get Sydney McLaughlin to show up without figuring out that she wants something, whether that's going to come in the form of hard cash or part stock options in the model or part ownership of the business. You have to sell it somehow. I don't know what the capacity there is. So it's challenging there. Grand Slam can take over cities and do some street races with regular people, have prize money, get the communities involved. Possibly, I mean, we've seen some of those things. The Atlanta Games was interesting in Piedmont Park. We've seen part of the Diamond League in Zurich go out in the streets before. It's entertainment, is interesting, but it has to be sustainable as well, right? Mihambo here gonna motor down for a second jump, at least the second jump they're showing us already with a 640. Let's see if she can go bigger. That's a much better jump, but foot way behind the board, I think. That's probably like a 660 or 670 something jump there. All right. All in the game. Encouraging to see Breza back after 3 years. Oh, for sure. I touched on it a couple of days ago. It was heartwarming to see Donovan Breza back. Hadn't run for what? 23? It's been a while. And to run 144.7, you might look at that and say it's not fast if you're just like in the grand scheme of things. But for a guy that couldn't even train or even walk properly, that is a special run. I do hope he will move from strength. You'll get strength from this, and hopefully shows up, rack up at the US Championships and see what he can do. To make that team would be virtually hard to do. It's almost impossible, but unless he's going to run a 141 by the time we get to the US Championships, or 142, maybe 143 lows. But we'll see. But it's good to see him. Really good to see him. Kimani says track athletes also need personality. Everybody hugging everyone, loving. Track needs, I guess he needs some beef. I don't know. What was it yesterday in a press conference? Rai Benjamin said it's not the UFC. I get what he's saying. You had 3 of the fastest time runners ever over 400-meter hurdles, and they're all cool and collected. You can't make personality either, right? So you can't be something you're not, right? You have to embody it. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, Jasmine Moore motoring down. Come on, can some of the track girls bag a rap? Bag a rapper and break into the culture. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they need. Ferdinand, yeah, greetings from the World Test Championships. I gotta be honest with you, that was some fabulous cricket I've ever seen. Markham, Bavuma, they're leading. Really good captaincy from Bavuma. I thought after the first, when South Africa replied, I was like, this is interesting. And Australia is gonna blow them over in the second innings. But once the sunshine came out at Lords, level-headed batting, it took the test match away, and it was a brilliant batting there from South Africa. Shout out to the South Africans in terms of capturing that. And I love the World Test Championships. I want them to expand it to maybe a semi-final and a final. get a couple games going. That would be neat. That I would yeah, it's great. Track for all. What do you think about 20-year-old Dejeuner Oakley running 49.65 at the NCAA championships? I like it. Dejeuner, lots of talent. Really looked good yesterday running behind Butler, who's, let's face it, a really great talented athlete too. I think in the interview yesterday when she was talking afterwards, she said she just tried to hang with her. I like it. I like what I saw. I think she'll have a lot of time to get back in form and be ready for the Jamaica Championships. She did well enough to stick with Butler. Well, not really stick with Butler, obviously. She can't, no one could. Butler was in superb form yesterday, running 49.26. But Oakley, lots of talent. I like her level-headed. I like her body type too, height-wise, decent and everything. She has a future in the sport. You need her to come good for the rest of the season. So maybe by the time you get to Jamaica Championship, she should be eyeing a place on the team. She should be. Yeah. Yeah. Women's 400 meters on track. This should be good. Henrietta Jega, Whitaker ran her down the last time. Amber Anning, Lika Kava. Oh, this is high quality field here. Let's take a look at this. And I'll get back to the comments in a second. I was trying to keep an eye on this T20 cricket too, but I don't know what's going on there. Ireland in response to West Indies. So good start there from Whitaker as well. Jaga looks like she's running conservatively, but also making up the stagger, but not too much. It's still there. Rashidat there also running okay. Amber, Anin running decent too, but nothing to separate. Adalika running a decent bend too, but I don't think is she gonna step across here? No. Whitaker is gonna make a move now. Jaga is making a move. Amber Anin is moving backwards. Likewise for Rashidat. Whitaker is just extending here, and she's gonna comfortably win this ahead of Jaga. 49.79. Back-to-back 49s for her. Ahead of Henrietta Jaga at 50.07 and Amber Anning closing well at 50.17. Lika Clava 50.35. Vel 50.39 and Rashidat fading somewhat to 50.44. Those are still good times there, all those 50 clockings. But I like what I'm seeing from Whitaker here. A lot of strength coming in the home stretch. This is a high quality field to be honest with you too. That's the results there. And when I look at Whitaker, I still think she can be a little bit leaner, but I'm not complaining on that part though. It's not a really, really good running. Let's see. Come on. Price ran 48 and faded in the Olympics, so I'm not looking for Oakley to do anything this year. I get what you're saying there, but I think it's a different season too. There's a different Curtis Marshall trying to get over 6 meters, but no. Here's the thing. Well, when is the Jamaica Championships? Next week? So the week after. There is time for athletes if you were to make this to come back down and get back to a high. There's some space there. It's not quite the same like Paris last year. But I do understand. It's not easy though. It's certainly not easy to be running an entire indoor season to get into an outdoor season and then to run that long by the time you get to September. And we shouldn't expect athletes to do this. But I hope she can she can make the team. She probably can do a good run on the relay as well. Yeah. All in the game. Been bigging up Whitaker for a while now. She looks strong and fit. Don't see the same body type issues. Yeah. I mean, she is in great form, running well. When she ran down Henrietta in Oslo, was it Oslo? Yeah. I was like, this is a different athlete. And yeah, she should be a shoe-in for the US team, but it's gonna be competitive. You have to run well. It might be a tactical affair. Kristen Shea here stepping in the sector, but we'll see. Uh NC athletes have peaked so much already. Yeah, but also peaking can come back though. You know, that's under 65 meters there from Che. That's not good enough for his standards. They can come back for sure. They can come back. You can hold a peak for a long time. You can also take it down and come back up. It's just about whether or not she's tired and they'll do the work to do it. But I get your point, to be honest with you. Sometimes you can't count on what you see at the NCAs and expect that to translate right away. There's athletes who have done it, but it just depends on also if they're setting up for a later season as well. Daniel Stahl here on his first attempt. Nice. Probably about 66 or 65 and change. Eric says Price got very sick at the Olympics and injury. I agree. Yeah, that is true. That's what happened too. Yeah. When Price ran 48 at the NCAs and 48.5 at Diamond League before Olympics, her legs were dead by that time. Yeah, she was ill though, so we didn't get to see. I don't disagree on the fatigue for sure. Kiman, when I speak peaking on, oh, you mean on this? Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. All in the game. NCAA athletes have 7 weeks till USA's. Has to be one of the longest breaks ever between the two. Plenty of recovery time and build up. Yeah, I think that's what I think we'll know for sure. I'm leaning to agree with you. I think that I agree with what you're saying here. And this will be one of the few times I'm just talking off the top of my head. I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say the wrong thing on the internet, but I don't believe we've seen a long period like this for a while. And if we have, we may be able to go back and judge to see how many of those athletes made it on a US team. I believe if you can take a break and get back into some training and prepare for the US championships, if you mentally want to make a world championship team, it's possible. And so you think about Ford, you think about Butler, they should be looking at this and say, I'm going to make this team. I have time. I have time to relax. I can take a time off. They don't need to run at any meets. They can take a little bit of time off and come and just go. And by time off, I mean from being in competitive space and get straight into it. Yeah. Come on, said I watch Aaron Brown on their Canada broadcast, and they cheer for NCAA athletes to make the team because they know they won't do well at championships. I see what you're saying. I know. I mean, I think we're being harsh on the collegiate athletes. We're also being harsh on when we generalize that way. Sometimes I just don't have the numbers in front of me to make a good argument in terms of what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you look at NCAA athletes and you think they're being readied for the NCAAs. Sometimes that's true, and sometimes you have athletes that they're looking beyond that because they're that good, and you're like, we want to make them ready for a championship. You think about even when they prepare the likes of, I think when Coach Flo was preparing Julien, or I mean, granted, she false started in what was it Oregon or someplace. Sometimes you look at those things and you think you're preparing them for NCAs, but if the athlete is super talented and better than the rest, sometimes they're thinking beyond two and they have a plan for it. But we'll see. All in the game. Last long break was in 19 when the Doha World Championships was in October. At least 16 NCAA athletes went on to make that team. See, that's why I'm happy you're on the channel right now. Yeah. I think whenever there's a lull, you get more of the NCAA athletes, especially the ones who can go back to back and they have the capacity. So if your ability is to just like pop up and run a one fast race and you're not that competitive, it's gonna be challenging. But if you can do the rounds at the championships, there's a possibility. I'm not saying we'll see record levels of NCAA athletes, but I think you'll see more athletes do better this year than they did at the Paris championships or the championships to get to Paris. Eric says youthful performances comes with great spikes, but inconsistency. Yeah, that's part of it too. I think becoming a professional athlete is a different business. That's why when we often see great athletes in college, when they leave there, you might say why they don't transition and do the same type of performances and better. But they're in different environment and they start to be in an environment where they're the ones responsible for everything. They have to get the coach, they have to get the medical, they have to get the food, or they have to have people around. And it's a different setup. And it's not easy to transition. The two most vulnerable times for athletes are usually when they're transitioning from high school. Oh, Mondo going for the world record here. And he did it. First time at 2:28. I actually didn't even realize he was doing this. On home soil, Mondo, first time attempt. I just happened to look across and realize he was going at 6:28. Armand Duplantis collecting another, $100,000 for breaking the world record. He's edging close to 6:30. I think we're getting 6:30 this year. He did this on the first attempt, jumping into the crowd. I think this may be his family here. I don't know for sure. It looks like his family. Could be his granddad or somebody. Mondo on a first time clearance, 6:28. Absolutely ridiculous. We have to savor these moments because we'll never see the like. Outrageous. I'll get back to so I was saying, Eric, to complete that transition from high school to college or to professional is very hard. And then for those who go to college and to transition to professional, it's also really hard. That's the rubber meets the road there. And especially if you don't have a lot of money behind you, it's tough. Kimani Ford competing in Ford events this weekend. Such a disservice to her. I didn't like it, but as All in the Game pointed out and others, South Carolina isn't that deep. And when you compete in college, they often ask you to do a lot. And she was injured too, apparently. Someone said she was struggling with a hamstring thing earlier. Kimani, it's not about making the team, it's about competing against people who are only peaking for one championship. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think we're on the same kind of page, but maybe slightly variation on what's going on there. Ferdinand says Sutherland had an easy way to Tokyo. She rocks in the hurdles. Oh, that was a fantastic performance last night from Savannah. The last time wearing Michigan colors. I think she's a brilliant athlete too. I didn't anticipate that 52.46 up to last night. That was the second fastest until Femke ran for earlier today. Hey, the Canadian 400-meter hurdles team is not particularly difficult to make. So I think she'll be fine. Hopefully she gets to the World Championships and can refine her form. But lovely athlete. Kimani says Mondo does this all the time. Yeah. That's how you do it. You go up 1 centimeter at a time and you milk these world records, and that's how it works. Track for All says Ford was hurt after the 200, maybe injured, and our team didn't run the 4x4. Yeah. I think she had to run hard in the 4x1, right? And yeah, someone said she was struggling with something. Yeah. Mondo running around around the track here, getting the adoration from his home fans. A spectacular performance by Mondo Duplantis. Wayne says NCA did the same thing to Britain. Yeah, that's true. Running the 400 meters and the 4x4 has never been the same since. Yeah, it is. How they do the NCA championships is wild. We need a whole show to unpack that. And you have to think, there's regional championships before you get to that. Yeah. Matthew Denny in the sector right now. It's a good throw there. It's above 60. That's probably maybe 68 meters, 67 meters. Let's see what that is. That's a real jump, a real good throw there. I want to check up on the. Yeah, 68.14 for Denny. I want to see what's happening in the discus. I haven't been following. I should put it on another stream. Let's see. Che in the lead with 69.73, 68.14 for Denny. Stahl 66.50. Janssen 64.13. Roger Stoner 63.22. So early days still in the men's discus. The Olympic champion, we saw him in. Where did we see him? In the Netherlands, right? Yeah. And so we ended into the closing stages here of the men's 5,000 meters, which I've not even been following, to be honest with you. We've just been doing the commentary here. All in the Game says, what happened to Britain Winston was unnecessary because Arkansas had the depth that South Carolina doesn't. I agree on that. They had so many people there. Jamisha will likely turn pro soon and won't be running as much as a pro. She should. I think she should go pro right away. There's nothing else to really prove in college. She's that good. Looking at Kristen Che's throw here. This is this. Oh, it's a lovely throw. Eric says points. Greed. Harris should have been preserved for the hurdles only. They could have found someone else for the 4x1. Possibly. Yeah. But then sometimes the athletes the athletes at the collegiate level shouldn't override what coaches want. But yeah. Kimani also said they should ban the 400 meter hurdles double. You just realize you don't know it's Dwayne. Yeah. Stall again here. It's not good. That's probably like 65 and change. Yeah. So 5,000 meters on track. I've totally lost what's going there. There's going to be 800 meters for women coming up too. That should be good. There's Sedjati there. Good to see her. Mary Moore hasn't been running as well as I thought this year. Still to me, one of the great tactical runners of the 800 meters. Audrey Wero there too, fresh off of her Swedish national record recently. That should be good. Georgie Bell is there. Jamarika is in the mix. I haven't seen her in a while too. So this should be a good 800 meters. Then 100 meters for women, and then it will end with the 400-meter hurdle. So Stockholm getting nice. Let's see. Almgren in the lead here ahead of Kuma Gurma too in the 5,000 meters. A couple of laps left. This is what 10:49-ish there. This should be good. This should be quick. I don't know how quick it will be, but it should be quick. Ferdinand said, Ford Pro, please. Rose must stick to 800 and leave what? I don't know if I understand that. Ferdinand, maybe. Michaela Rose, I mean, when she dropped that record on, when was it, Thursday night or Friday night? I can't remember now. I thought she was going to run away with it yesterday, but faded somewhat in the final of the 800 meters. I'm not sure what happened to her. And I haven't seen any things. Oh yeah, she must only run the 800. Okay, I agree what you're saying. Yeah. No, I agree. Kimani Whitaker went pro right away. I was surprised. Hey, you only get to the. It's a short career. When she went pro after what, indoors? Was it indoors? The Swedish athlete here is taking it. He has a good 50, 60 meters on Kuma Gurma here. He's gonna run under 13 seconds for sure. It's like 200 meters left, or less than that. He's gonna run 12 fours here. This is gonna be a ridiculous record. This might be a European record he's after here. Where did they find this kid? 44 12:44:26. That's a European record. That's an era record for sure. This is an old dude too, right? He's been around for a while. This is yeah. That's ridiculous running there from him. 12:44:27. That's an era record. Really, really good running. Ahead of Gurma, 12:57:46. Robinson, 12:58. So 3 men going sub 13 here in the 5,000 meters. Now I feel bad I wasn't watching this all the time. That's ridiculously good running here. Ridiculous running. Hey, when you're on home soil, you know, you show it for your crowd. Ferdinand is saying go Prudence. Yeah, I like what I mean, I have a lot of time for Prudence. Kimani says Rose, I think, can be fabulous 400, 200 meter late. Which Michaela Rose or 200 meters? No, I can't see that unless we talking about the same person. All in the game. Whitaker didn't have outdoor NCAA eligibility, so she had to go pro. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. Rose is the most predictable 800-meter runner. Stanford has a number in championship finals, whether it's Rosin Willis or Whitaker. Yeah. Just looking at this guy again here. That's ridiculous running there from Almgren. He's been around for a while. I think he's like 29, 30 or something like that. To run that time at that age that's interesting. So really some good performances here by the Swedish athletes so far. World record from Mondo 6:28, and then his countryman also popping up with an era record, a national record, obviously 12:44.27, comfortably winning the 5,000 meters. Andreas Almgren. So next on the track will be the 800 meters. What do you think? A 157 tonight? Conditions look good out there. Let's see what we get here from the long jump. They're showing Mihambo here. I'm sure that she's already jumped this already, but closer to 7 meters. I gotta go check the results on that. Wayne says Rose is like Mo. They're strong runners, but not tactical. Yeah, don't start on the thing right now. Yeah, I think Michaela has issues with tactics at time to time for sure. I don't know. I don't know if someone said recently they're not sure if she wants to run the sport. Run anyway. I mean, I can't get into her head. I was leaning towards that, but I kind of revised my thoughts on that. Without knowing that it's hard to say, but and also when you're used to winning a lot and winning easily, it can come upon you. It's like Inga Bertson, right? The tactics shows up when you're not comfortable. Kimani says curveball. I don't think Simbini will medal in this year's championship. Sorry to say, because I like the guy. I like the guy too. I think I like. I think he's a good servant of the sport. He's done a lot. He's a nice guy. He's been around for a while. It's just tough, right? I'm happy that I'm not. He took it down because he ran indoors, medal there, started early, winning a lot. Hopefully, he's easing off a bit to come back. I don't know. It's hard to make any sense of what we'll get in 100 meters yet. So it's super early. All saw the people running fast. I saw that kid that beat Kristen Coleman, even though it was win-aided. But where are they popping up these kids from? All in the game. Not fear for Mondo, but I've become numb to his 1 cm world records. Roses know we are strong front runners. I think their talent levels are miles apart. No, I don't. I'm not saying they're in the same category for sure. I don't. Then there's two different type of athletes. You get a 154 athlete and an athlete that probably at best might be 157ish, low 156. Yeah, two different type of athlete. I think Mo could even go much further if she wanted to. Than even. Yeah, for her, it's whether or not her mind is in it. It's the most talented we've seen in a long time. But I don't know what we'll get from her. Just broke Inga Bertson's record. Ferdinand is saying, yeah, I know, that was ridiculous run there from Andreas. Kimani says Inga Bertson oblique by their excuses at the same place. I don't know if you want to put those two together. One has gold medals and in multiple events, and I don't know. The oblique thing is interesting. Even if he's in form again, I don't know if I can put him in a prediction poll anymore. I think I give him the first year. He was young, Olympics. He should have medaled at the last. He should have medaled in Budapest for sure. He should have medaled last year at the Olympics as well. But it happens. It happens. Yeah. Yeah, Ingebrigtsen makes his excuses for his 1500. I think tactically he doesn't know how to run it, but he's won it before. He has Olympic titles and he has medals in this. Maybe he should have won. He got run out last year, which was really interesting. Last year was a ridiculous run. Ridiculous run. Got his belly run out. But he ran a good time still. I think what he ran. Didn't he run like 327 still and change? I have to look at it again, but But he got outkicked by Nagus and Kessler and Josh, right? Yeah. All in the game. I think has run 49.5, 154, Roses 52 and 158 miles apart in time. No, 100%. I agree. I think the best Rose could get to is 157 based on ceiling. I mean, obviously she's in college, so you don't know if maybe under the right training circumstances she could run faster a 156. I don't, but I do. I wouldn't put it much further than that. I think should be pushing for world records, which is an interesting kind of conversation. I don't, but we can get into that. But her talent level is different class for sure. We haven't seen. I don't think we've seen I think more talent since Mario Matola. The pacemaker is way ahead of them. No one wants to go with the pace, but they requested this pace. So what is going on here? The pacemaker is like 5 meters, 6 meter lead here. Comes through in like 58.22. I guess they didn't want it there. Kimani says Oblique doesn't think he has a problem, so how can he fix it? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, a Glenn Mills coach athlete should always be mentally prepared, but I don't know what to say there. He made excuses in his interviews last year too. Wayne, as far as Rose and Mo, not talent level but style. Okay, but I think runs more in the front harder than I don't know. I have to look. That's an interesting thing. Wayne, I don't think so though. I have to look at it again. I think push is much harder than her. Segadisa is gonna pass Mary Moore right now. Oh, Jamaica is gonna pass all of them. Oh no, and that's not Jamaica. Sorry, that was Hunter Bell. Sorry, I apologize. Hunter Bell running through there in the end, way outside on a kick. I thought Sedagisa was gonna pass Mira Mora, who held her off. 157.66. That's good running there. Where I thought was gonna come with a kick too, but couldn't find it. Hunter Bell just came in like a freight train at the end there. Mora hasn't been running the way I thought. I wonder if something is up. Let's see this. That's a 157.66, 157.83 season best there. 158 flat for Prudence, Sedagisa, and Vero at 158.35. Jamaica 158.66. Hunter Bell there was just like coming down like an express train at the end. Ferdinand says Jakob will break the 5,000 world record if he attempts it. I think he can. I don't, but right now he has to get healthy. I don't think he should be thinking about any kind of world records right now. I don't know how soon he'll be back, but he has some injuries. So double 5,000 world and Olympic champion. Yeah, yeah. All in the game. I rate we're still only 20, ran 157.25 national record in her last race. This was in Hengelo, right? I saw that. That was a brilliant run. But she needs to get better tactically. Yeah. No, I agree. I thought she had a kick on the stretch here, but she didn't run she should have run harder. There's more 157 in those legs for sure. It's a good jump from her, but not won't challenge the 7 meter mark there from Tara Woodall. Ferdinand says, "Well done, Hunter," and he's also proud of Princess. I guess him of my princess. I guess he's showing a lot of love to Prudence. Lots of talent there too for Prudence. Needs to get more consistent, but Weru, I like her. I also think Weru can get a bit leaner eventually as well. But the Swiss have found somebody there, so they should wrap her up. Kimani, how much sports do I watch? A lot more than I should. I watch a lot less now than before. Actually, I was just trying to watch this cricket as on the moment, but I can't. I'm totally not watching the cricket there. I, yeah, you don't want to know how much sports I watch. Yapachina here trying to run down the runway here. That looks like a fall jump anyway. I don't think that's a valid jump. Yeah. Oh, it is. Oh, it is a valid. It looked like she stepped over, but yeah. Gonna watch a little of the golf later. I'm gonna watch some soccer or football later too, I think. Uh all in the game. Women's 800 is a little more open this year with the big three not in great form. Tigis Dugama is my dark horse for the event. Oh, yeah, Dugama, I absolutely talented Olympic medalist there. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a fit Keely this year. She pulled out of a few meets, Hutchinson, so it's hard to make a call on that. I have no idea. I don't understand what's going on with that thing. That 1,500 meters, that partial running. What was it? A mile she was running, or 1,000, or 1K? I don't know. Jasmine Moore. Good to see Jasmine Moore. Interesting athlete there. Never like how she goes down the runway. The arms don't go as efficiently, but who am I to say that anyway? Yeah, it is an open race for sure. Dugama was fairly okay indoor season too, so we'll see. Come on, only 3 women can make the team at Jamaica trials. I don't think Shelly will get an individual spot. I have no idea what's going on with Jamaican women. It's hard to know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Wayne is responding to Kimani by saying she went 10-9 beside Tia. It's pretty even. Yeah. I guess we'll find out relatively soon. Kimani, do you think Lever will run oblique out of an individual spot? Because I think Blake will take second. Very good question. I like what I saw from Brian Level. I think he's good enough to try to double at the Jamaica Championships because the 200 meters is just not a competitive space. Otherwise, I would say just run the 200 meters alone, but he should run both. Oblique came back in that race recently. And he did say he didn't run the first part well because because of the injury. So I don't know. I suspect he'll be in good shape. I think Akeem Blake will run something super fast. You expect Thompson to win. Maybe Thompson. I don't know. I mean, I suspect by the time we get to championships, maybe Oblique could be getting back into the 9-8 shapes. Can Level give you a 9-8? Good question. If he can, then maybe he'll take an individual spot. But he should be focusing on the 200 meters for sure, because that's a spot into the World Championships. And we'll see what we get from him. Ferdinand says South African women beat with. Yeah, I saw that too. I wasn't watching that game. And Tina is on the same path as Tia on last year. I think MVP takes all 3 spots. Quite possible. Quite possible. They're introducing the women here for the 100 meters. Dasso, Van der Werk, and Talu Smith, Asha, Dina Asha Smith, the Olympic champion, Alfred, Nita Henriksen, and McCoy. McCoy is all over the place this year. She's just like, I keep saying this is like I'm a broken record, but every event I look, she's there. So see what we get. Brianna Williams, one to watch according to Ferdinand. I agree. I like what I saw yesterday. Early on, All in the Game was saying he wants to see her with some better competition. And I tend to agree on that too. But she's quietly making a decent season. I think John Smith has something up planned. We'll see. Asira, are you doing? Hello to you as well. Let's see what we get from the Olympic champion. Our first run the other day, and she blew away the field in what I thought was a training run. I think she's going to come and probably run much better because she ran what 9:10:8 the other day, and it was like easy running for her. I think Julien is already in 10:7 shape. She looked really easy the other day, didn't even do much. Let's see what we get from her. That's a clean start, a good start from Nita. But Julien Alfred head down, clear ahead of Asha Smith, blowing them apart. This is going to be quick. Eased up again, 10:75, and she eased up at the line. That's your world champion you're looking at here as well. I'm calling it today. It's over. 10:75 meeting record for Alfred. Yeah, I've seen all I need to see. I've definitely seen all I need to see. I know it's not the quickest time. Jefferson would Melissa still has a quicker time, but yeah, look at this. Coach Flo will not even be happy with this execution. But she had a good drive phase there. Asha Smith running decent too, but she starts to pull away and oh, look at that. No, that is it's over. It's over. I'm done. I'm calling it today, guys. Yeah. That's a low 10-7 in the legs. 10-6 by the time we get to yeah, it's over. I think it's done. All in the game says Lene, Thomas, Kevona, Elaine, Cherokee, and more have all done a disappearing act. Yes, it's true. We haven't seen them. Eric, beautiful Maka is very up and coming. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Tava Thomas, so we'll see. Eric says Julien hard to beat. It's done. She eased off in the last 10, more impressive than Melissa's 10:73. Yeah, by far. It's over. It's done. It's done. You don't win the Olympic title in the rain and with abilities for days, the right age. good coaching, the cycle. You come back the next year. Yeah, yeah. I think it's over. Objectivity, what's up? I agree it's over. Yeah. Yeah. That was a dominant performance. That was a performance like, are you coming with me? This is how it looked. It looked like she was like, but I thought Dina said I was coming, you know. She probably saw Dina in training and was like, I thought Dina looked like she was coming, so I'm gonna run hard. And then I checked and no one was there. It was almost like an abrupt stop too, as I saw it on the replay. I have to watch it again, but it's done. It's done. Objectivity in the rain and into a slight headwind. Yeah. Kimani, I won't call it yet, not yet. I know. I mean, I'm getting excited. I just feel like there's something about Alfred that it's hard to root against, and she has all the makings to do this. The 21.8, the way in which they're doing the speed endurance work this year, there's a lot to be happy about there. I know I'm being excited by trying to call races early, but you don't call races officially. I'll give an official prediction in about how many weeks from now, but I like what I'm seeing there. Asira saying the women's 100 is going to be interesting. Oh, it's most certainly. Kimani calling the 100 is a bad idea. I get you, but I don't know. Those 300 in trainings are paying off. Yeah, ran that 300 meters in Miramar when she beat Sharika Jackson. Look good over that 200 meters. And she doesn't like those long runs. I think, yeah. Oh, that's a big throw from Daniel Stahl there. Huh? That's a big throw. I don't know if 69.53. So I didn't quite get it, but that was a big throw. Come on, 100 is starting to become the 100-meter hurdles. Not quite. I don't think so. It's not quite there yet. 100-meter hurdles has, if everybody's in form, healthy, 8, 9 women that can all win it. Yeah, probably 10. Wayne says hard to bet against Julien. Yeah, it's very hard. Not a betting man, but yeah, she's special there. Alfred coach is smart. Her newfound top end is the great edge. Yeah, I mean, Coach Flo has been in the business for a long time. Knows what he's doing. There's a great camp there. Matty Denny here on his final throw. Not quite. Objectively, all things being equal health-wise, Julien time now. Yeah. Look, there might be the great thing about sport, the great thing about the 100 meters is that you just never know. A bunch of athletes can come on the scene. Everybody's itching to see what you get from the Clayton twins, what we'll get from Shakari, what we'll get from, will Sharika even do something? Probably not. I don't know. She might just stick to the two. Well, wait, there's all these questions. Can Jefferson get much faster? It's brilliant, but the Olympic champion is racing the way they want her to race. She has the big chip. It's the right cycle the next few years. She has everything that is prime for her to dominate. The beauty about when you have a champ like that too is that she runs for St. Lucia. They're not thinking about the national championships for St. Lucia. There's no team to make there. They're thinking September. This is interesting. Yeah. This is gonna be special. Eric says even Sydney said she's not running the 100 meters hurdle anytime soon. Yeah, that's a space you don't want to get involved in. It's too fast. Ferdinand Julien can go sub 10. I think so. I think that was a sub 10 run there. It's a sub 10 7 run. I think she has that in it. It's already showing. Objectivity says Shakari is the only one with the foot speed good enough if she gets the start. Yeah, not sure what we're getting from Shakari. We haven't seen her. She was bandaged up some weeks ago in that race, but we'll see. All in the game. Sharika is like last year, looking better in 100 than in her 200 meter, which is concerning. It is. She started to look a little bit better in the last race we saw, but I I don't know. I don't know what to make of her. I don't know if it's a situation where it's just taking time to get back to those levels. As I've mentioned before, there's being healthy, fit, but then your mind has to run free. And if you worry about the injury, even if you're not injured, it takes a while to be free. I hope that's what's happening. And you hope she gets back to that level. But she needs to get back to a 21.8 fast. If she can get to 21.8, she'll be on the podium. It's hard to see 21.8. There's never been an occasion, right, that 21.8 doesn't put you on a podium for 200 meters. But she has to start getting down there really quickly. She has to go sub 22 at some point soon. If not, if we get to the Jamaica Championships, which she might not run the 200, but if we get to the end of this month and we're not seeing signs of sub 22, it's hard to think that we'll get great running, but we'll give it time. Let's see where we are. Kimani Jackson has confirmed only running 100 at trials. I, for one, think she's going to go 10.6 high or 10. If she runs 10.6 in trials, then we're talking different things here. But we're talking different things. Eric says, barring injury, Julien is winner, hopefully after the World Championship. World Champ goal. What? We'll have Alfred as the world's fastest woman. We'll see. All in the game. She doesn't look anywhere close to running sub 20. That's what I'm saying to. I'm not seeing it. We're not seeing what we're seeing is like no power. There's no power there. It's just like going, can't get into the gear. But I don't know. Yeah. All in the game. I agree. Objectivities are green, and then Kimani, she's already 11 seconds. Yeah. All right. This is great running there. Varham is like eating up the track there. Oh, he's gone. DeSantis is going up onto Rai Benjamin there, but also easing. Oh my! This Rai's coming now. He's coming in back into the race, but Varham has like a 2-3 meter lead here. Unless Rai can make a big move on the curve here, he's coming for him now. But Varham is in the lead. He stuttered there, but Rai Benjamin is moving ahead. A clean run there from Rai Benjamin, and DeSantis is coming. Oh my God, 46.55. So Rai is in shape. I thought he wasn't in shape on that 300 meters. A ridiculous roar leading time, 46.54, meeting record from Rai Benjamin. Season best time for DeSantis, it looks like, running a 46.2, and Varham got run out of it in the end. 2 men under 47 seconds here. Look at that. 46.54, 46.68. And Karsten again struggling on the last 100 meters of the 400 meter hurdles. It's beginning to become a thing right now. I've said this a couple years ago that the way in which Varham runs is not sustainable as he gets older. And I'm starting to think that I'm right on this, but we'll see. 47.4 is good time, but he was out there. He didn't hit the hurdle at number 9. And then he started, and neither at 10. He started to lose it. And Benjamin just clearly went through, and DeSantis tried to come back on Benjamin. When I saw Benjamin in Oslo, I thought he didn't have it, but this is ridiculous running. Ridiculous running. Brian says, "What's up, Brian? Sherika will find it hard to reach those heights of 2023, especially after injury woes." Yeah, I don't think getting back to 21-4 is. No one should think that way. We saw 2 seasons of what we'll probably never see those type of intense running at 21-4s ever, but we'll see. Asira says the 2 college athletes, male and female, who finished first in the 400-meter hurdles at NCAA finals were exceptional. Oh yeah, the Nigerian guy's been running well all season, and Sutherland from Canada, a tremendous performance. And Kimani says he hates Rai. Why you hate Rai? Rai's dad used to be West Indies cricketer, fast boat, the Benjamin guys from Antigua. Winston Benjamin is his dad. I never really liked the Benjamin guys when I used to watch cricket. I always thought they weren't backing up Walsh and Ambrose the way that they should, but they were better than I thought at the time. They weren't just elite. They weren't like all-time great fast bowlers. At least Winston wasn't. He was good, but yeah. All in the game. Wanted Allison to win it to mix it up a bit. Allison is coming back into shape there. I think you would be concerned that he didn't run the backstretch hard enough. But we'd have to watch it again. That's just my quick thing here. And he's been running a lot this season too. Yeah. Objectivity is giving Kimani a little talk there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What about Rai you're displeased with? I think Rai has found a way, right? There's a period where we thought that he wasn't going to win the big one, and he won it last year, and now it's hard not to. It's hard to discredit anything he does. Paris in on June 20 should be fabulous. All in the game. Rai ran well with 33-22 in Oslo as his seasonal. No, you're right. I mean, it's an interesting thing. And starting in Oslo before the race, I was saying I don't think anybody can beat Varham over 300 meters. I think he's the best ever over the first 300 meters. It's the same like saying you'll never see anybody better than Grant Holloway over the first 8 hurdles of a 110-meter hurdles. After that, if you're in the mix, you could probably catch him. But to come back and deliver this 46 here is big time running, big time running. So I like it. So good Diamond League here, a good way to do your Sunday, massive runs here. What's the best thing of the night? It was in Mondo. I mean, he broke the world record, but can we be impressed by his 1 cm records? I guess we have to. We have to we have to give him credit for that. Fabulous era record there from in the 5,000 meters. That was some good running there too from Andreas. Yeah, Stockholm, they delivered here. They delivered, yeah. Arcira says it's going to be very difficult for any European female sprinter to reach the finals of the 100 meters in Tokyo based on what I've seen so far. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there is anybody that could be in the mix. You can't necessarily count out Dina. Daryl hasn't been running particularly well, Nita that is, but Dina, she just went 10-9. Who knows? Maybe she might get into the mix soon. You just never know. But I agree with you there. There's no Munjinga this year. She's she's pregnant. Yeah, you're probably right on that. Just doing back of the envelope kind of calculation. All in the game. Varham never ran under 46.7 all season last year. If he heads into Tokyo without running sub 46.7 again, he's not winning. No, I don't think he's winning in Tokyo. I think the days of Karsten winning is probably over now. If Rise in that kind of shape and Dos Santos coming through. And I thought if Dos Santos didn't even pick up the injury, I think he would be way ahead of the other two in terms because I like him the best. His height is perfect for the 400-meter hurdles. He's quick. Yeah, it's interesting. All in the game says Dina ran 10:93 season best today. Still looks the best bet at European to make the Tokyo final, which is a lane 9 final. Yeah, I think we'll get Dina at probably 10:8 by the time we get to the World Championships. 10 maybe 10:89. That should be in the mix. Who knows? Uh Kimani, do you think God Bless will make the finals? Tima, I don't know. Certainly very talented. It's been running good this season. Again, everyone that ran the NCA has some time to come back. Should make the Nigeria team. That shouldn't be a problem. Uh, we'll have to wait. Christina Ibank, how you doing? If Julien gets the World Championship sprint double, then it's only a matter of time before she cements herself in the sport as one of the best ever. Yeah. Yeah, she has to stack up some major championships. Talent wise, she has the talent to be in the mix. But you have to win to get up in that to get up in the rear earth, the rear ear rather territory of all time greats. You have to stack up medals. And you have to run some super fast times. She's getting there. You gotta, especially in the 100, the super fast women live in the 10-6 range, and then the medals can count up. But it's after this year, it's still too early to be in the Mount Rushmore for me. We're not she's not we're close to that yet, but let's wait to LA. If we get to LA, then we can start to reshape the calculation there. We shouldn't put pressure on her either. I don't think she's thinking about it that way. But we'll see. Wayne says, I hope to get to see some of these Grand Slam athletes run some Diamond League events. Early Melissa and Julien race would be very exciting. Well, we saw today Ackera in the 100-meter hurdles. Couldn't quite catch Grace Stark, who is in phenomenal form. So is Ackera as well. Yeah, we'll probably see a few. We'll see. I haven't looked at the lineup yet for Paris. Then we have London, and there's some national championships and stuff coming up too. So interesting. Objectivity saying no to Kimani there. I guess you're talking about the team. All in the game. Back in favor of Fili to make both 1 and 2. I think that's a possibility too. I agree. Finals, as long as Nigeria remembers to fill in the right paperwork, unlike Paris. Yeah. People got it. Did they fire people for this? Because I think that's a fireable offense. But then again, I've seen Jamaica do some stuff that a lot of people should be fired for, and nothing happens. Even the US too, sometimes with their coaching teams for relays. So you never know. But I think I like Favor Feely. Super talented athlete too. She certainly can get into both finals for sure. Asir is agreeing with all in the game of Feely is looking good. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Kimani, all in the game, also agreeing. Asira, those Nigerian athletes in Nigeria aren't supposed to even get close to the sport because of their income. Hey, you said it. I mean, you say, yeah. No, I'm not going to the trials. I haven't made any plans. I'm gonna watch it. I did buy the package. When is the Jamaica trials? Is it this weekend or next week? I don't even know. The summer's coming. I haven't even been focusing on the dates. Jamaica trials is when? It's not on the time that World Athletics said it should be, right? Which is kind of strange. Pay per view. I bought this already. It's gonna be June 26th to the 29th for the Jamaica trials. Yeah. No, I'm not. And I don't think I'm going to US trials either. So we'll see. All in the game says we shouldn't forget the finals in Tokyo have increased 9 people, which will have its own impact. No, that's true. That's going to be good. Also, get rid of those bubble stuff too, right? You get it's the three. Are they getting rid of the bubble times, right? It's the three. It's the top three from each final semifinal that goes through. Or are they still doing the top two and the fastest times? Yeah. Ferdinand says British will push USA women's relay goal not out of the question. It's true. The Team GB should have a strong team. Good baton passes could be interesting. Not sure. In the ideal world, it should be a mix with the USA, Jamaica, GB. Not quite sure what we'll get from the Jamaicans right now, but there's still time for that. Yeah, top three from each semi go through to the finals. Nice and simple, right? I like it. 9-lane tracks. Well, in futures we'll start getting 10-lane tracks if this is how. I think that's the push anyway to start going to 10-lane tracks. We got to have the right space for that. Ferdinand says, "Favor Fili want to watch from Africa." Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I still just can't get over the nonsense from last year. Hopefully she has. She's probably gonna run with a super chip on her shoulder too. Didn't get a chance to compete, and you can't have that level of incompetence when it comes to that because athletes need simple things. They need to make sure that the environment that they'll get into a major championship will make sure they sleep well, train well, the right type of food. You don't want nonsense, and the administrators need to complete the forms the right way. And it's not something that should be a problem. We're not talking complicated stuff. What it requires is checklist systems that make sure someone follows up, make sure the right paperwork is done and submitted on time, preferably early so you can make changes if you made mistakes. But it's outrageous. It is outrageous. All in the game. Still can't get over how good Ophelia looked in the recent one. Oh yeah. Where she destroyed Shawnee's old record. Yeah, that was brilliant run. That thanks for bringing that up again. Yeah, I think we're getting something different this year from Favor. Definitely so. Yeah. But yeah, lots of stuff happening. Yeah, NCAs were really good too. Yes, this week always. But we'll see. Oh, yeah, all in the game. Want to shout out Anthea Charlton running a win legal 1087. I don't think I saw the race. Was it on? That happened yesterday, right? Was it yesterday? I'm trying to think if I saw that race. Yeah, I think I saw the results there, but yeah. Also, yesterday was cool too. The Kenyan that ran the 850, 815 in the steep in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. What's her name? Doris. Forgot her last name. Yeah, that was a big run yesterday too. So I think there's some interesting stuff from if we dissect the college athletics that we might get come later on. Also, what's her name? That Portuguese runner that's been running ridiculous, the 42-year-old athlete, uh, Bazola or Bazolo. She's been running, well, she ran like a 11:10, really good times for her age. So it's kind of wild to see that. So, yeah. Yeah, Lemon Lee. Yeah, really good, talented athlete there. Definitely in the mix, I would say. Yavi ran well recently. Cheritish ran good. Chematai is still in the mix. It's gonna, yeah. I think if she makes the Kenya team, you never know. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I have to. Yeah, I need to go look at that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I did see this. What am I saying? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, sorry. Objectivity. I like Ophelia as a talent, but I think she has much work to do. Not trusting her coaching. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say though. I don't. You got to give me some more on that objectivity. What about the coaching you're not trusting, or is she not trusting her coaching, or you not trusting the coaching setup? Kimani, do you think Powell and Taylor will stick to the 200 meters? Not sure. Uh, you mean Christopher Taylor you're talking about, right? I don't know. I saw that they ran yesterday, right? I saw some clips. I saw there was like a meet going on, and I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch everything, so I don't know. Come on, Sydney 400 NCAA record was broken, but I found the finals boring for the most part at the NCAA. When you mean the finals, the entire finals of the NCAA as a boring event? I don't know. I would, or it seemed like there's decent crowd. I mean, for an NCAA event. Uh, Sutherland was ridiculous. Savannah was ridiculous last year at Michigan, dropping a 52:46. At that point, that was the second fastest time, equaling Femke until Femke ran much faster today. I enjoy the NCAA for the most part. From what I saw, I thought there were some great performances across the board, field events, men on women's side. You got some good stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I, I'm never, you also have to have like allegiance to teams and to really get into it. It's like a school sports thing, but it's always a good place to watch because there are future Olympic and world champions and world record holders to be had there. So, yeah. Oh, you don't trust the people coaching. Okay, that's interesting. All in the game is saying heard talk of Shawnee possibly opening up soon. Curious how she fits back in the 400-meter landscape. The landscape in the 400 has gone wild. Interest. I don't know. Depends on how good she can get back. I don't think you make the podium if you're not running 48. I don't even. I'm being slightly disappointed even with Rashidat Adelike. I thought she would kick on much faster. Probably still a little bit early, but I don't know. 400 meters is just really tough space. I feel you have to be confident that you can drop a low 48s to even be on the podium. I can't see beyond Paulino. I think it's there. NASA is running really well. It's a lot of women coming, the Americans. If you're low 49s, you're not medaling. You get into a final. I don't know. Shawnee is one of the all-time greats. And if not the greatest, well, that's an interesting argument there, but I hope she comes back. Yeah. The interesting thing for me from a Bahamian perspective is the Stephen Gardner thing. I'm not sure what I'm understanding from that. And the tying in the 200 meters and running better in the 200 meters at the Grand Slam than the 4 was unexpected for me. Yeah. Where am I here? The times were slow. I mean, they had good times in the semifinals and before then. There was some headwind. What's going on at Dennis Mitchell camp? Miss Richardson's the next athlete to explode, perhaps 1060. I don't know what's going on at Dennis Mitchell camp. Yeah, yeah. You might okay. So Kimani's saying yes. Taylor ran 20 something. He got run out the week before from Brian Level. Yesterday was I don't. It didn't look like a spectacular run, but he could have been having a leggy week. I think there's more. How can I say this? I think there's more fanfare around Christopher Taylor than he's able to deliver. And I know there's a lot of talks. Some people saying they understand he's having really good training sessions and he's interesting stuff. But he's been out for close to 3 years. It No matter what kind of good training you have, it takes a while for the body to get accustomed to running and recovery and in the mix. I suspect we'll judge what we see at the Jamaica Championships as the first real benchmark. Can he make a team and in what event? And then what will happen afterwards? The 400 meters he left before he got suspended is a different 400 meters than we have now. And you will have guys running 43.8 and not medaling. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, you have to start from somewhere, Kimani. Yeah, you got in. Yeah, that's how it works. All in the game is saying NCAA champs were mostly cold and windy in the finals, affecting most little short sprint. It is, yeah. The temperatures weren't good. It was like what low 70s or dip below 70s, and Tracktown is a fickle place. Oregon is a fickle place. You get the right conditions, you'll get the breeze that will push you and run super fast times, or it can come in the other direction, or it can be chilly. So. You're right. What they get there is usually, yeah, the conditions really has a lot of impact on the performances there. All in the game. Ferdinand rather saying 400 hurdles was my high with the steeplechase. I agree. From that meet was really good. I like what I saw from what's his name Mullings who won the discus too. That was a really good competition, and to beat Alekna who came back and yeah, world record holder. That was high quality stuff. There's some good stuff in was it the decathlon or heptathlon too? We'll see. Wayne, what's going on? Alfred, Julien Alfred is looking fabulous. All been even can't see anyone beating her. Oh, yeah. When the race was happening, I was like, yeah, it's over. But obviously, it's not really over. But what I'm seeing there is you have to like everything you see from Julien right now, and only will get faster. Kimani says, "In my stomach, I think Price will win the world championship." Well, I don't know what's in your stomach, but maybe we. Nah, there's no evidence of that right now. Yeah, I can't even go anywhere close to that. Eric is saying Price is on her way back up 48 and change. Clip, what's up? Big up. Missed a good amount of your streams recently. No problem. Good to have you back all the time. All in the game. Hudson Smith, Quincy Hall are still on the podium favorites for me, for sure. When Quincy ran down the other day, I was like, oh, God, he's back. I thought the injury would have much more impact on him, but Quincy Hall is back. The ugliest runner you'll ever see, but he's up there. I think he'll be on the podium. Hudson Smith, you can't take him off the podium either, unless he's injured. The Botswanan athletes are dropping like flies in terms of injuries. Hopefully they'll be back. We lost Endure recently and all that stuff. I don't know. 400 meters a tough space. But I think Hudson Smith still there in the mix. If you're gonna beat those guys, you got to be running 43 fours, and that's a tall order for most people. Wayne is saying stiff competition for Price, not feeling just because being logical. If she makes the final, it's a success. Yeah, she has to make the Jamaica team. She's a lot of talent there. It's just that the 400 meters is really, really stiff competition, as you're pointing out. It's hard to call on the medal podium. I will go out on a limb and say 3 people won't beat Paul. NASA, you have to say, is really back. It's a tough place to be. And I guess objectivities, and I think your reference to you meant Cubby instead of Chubby. He needs another year. Yeah, probably so. I don't think Taylor was sitting down for all 3 years. He came back very trim. No, I'm not. He's not sitting down, but there's a difference between competing. You have to compete. Yeah. Asir is responding to all in the game, saying the men's 400 meters is wide open, no clear favorite. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did correct yourself too. Sorry. Weird stat that the world record holder Lekna's never won NCAA tackle. It is an interesting stat. He was redshirted in his first year at Cal, right? If I remember, or am I wrong on that? And yeah, now he hasn't. But discus is also men's discus is a competitive space. Because you look at even Christian Che, you think would be locked in for medals sometime or gold medals, and it never happened. It may not necessarily happen. Last year, Roger Stoner stepped up. Who saw that coming? And so there's a bunch of guys that can throw really far. It's really good competition on the night. I like what I'm seeing in men's discus as well. All in the game is responding to us here, saying Matthew Hudson Smith is the only guy to medal in the last 3 finals and is running well. And so is Quincy Hall. They have the highest ceiling with Gardner, Norman out of sorts. Yeah. Where's Sean Bailey? I don't know. Kimani is saying ugly compared to Walaza. Different event. Walaza has interesting issues. They need to iron that out. Much younger than Hall. Hall is an 800-meter guy coming down. I think there's inefficiency in his running too, but he's an Olympic champion and he can run 43-4. So what do we have to say? There's not much we can say there. All in the game saying Nene looks good, but yet to run 44 sub 44 at sea level. Really rate Ogazi, but he's 19 and yet to run sub 44 force. Yeah, I like Nene. Looked good recently. Then he lost. And yeah, I don't know if we'll see. We'll see. It's also managing the rounds. We'll see what we get. Ogazi's a good kid too, but yeah, he's probably a bit too young. Objectivity price is small. I feel like she lacks the power of the rounds. I don't know what to make of that. She's a tiny athlete. We've seen them before, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Asir is responding. It depends on who's ready on the day of the finals. And Wayne is saying, I agree, objectivity. Way harder for smaller athletes. Nasser may never beat Paulino again. Yeah. Nasser is also small. Track for all is saying that, yeah, probably more muscular though, for sure. Asir, all in the game is responding. Matty Hudson Smith and Hall are 43-4 guys. There are levels to the 400 meters. Only Gardner and Norman have that. Norman have that ceiling. That's true. No one is. If you can run 43-4s, it's hard to. You can't get off the podium. It's impossible. unless you're gonna pop up on a world record shape, and nobody's in that kind of shape. And the rest of the guys might be like, if they can dip below 44, it's gonna be 44 highs, nines. Even if you get to 8, you're still like 2 meters away. Yeah. So she does have the record. Hudson Smith is a beast. It seems like he does not train that much. I don't know. He trains hard. They had to manage training because he was picking up niggles here and there, but no one can run that. You can't run 43 lows and without training. That never happens. Wallace is the male version of Kristen and Boma in terms of ugly run. Yeah, I like the kid. He's young. He's talented. Ever since we saw him in Peru too on a major global scale stage. I don't know what Wallace's ceiling is in terms of how fast he can run. But let's say it's 9.85. Let's use a number like that. If he can do that, then he probably would run much better if they could fix the form. Because he's like doing that jumping motion and the arm is out. And admittedly, he said he doesn't think he's doing it. And so they're working on it. But once he's in the race, it happens. So it might take a while to correct some of those issues. But he certainly has a lot of talent. He'll help South Africa, whether individually or certainly on relays. So yeah. Kimani says Norman has Asafa syndrome. I don't know about that. Norman has probably more like, I think it's hard to say. I guess I'll say it. I think he also is one who probably doesn't enjoy the sport. You have to love the sport to do the kind of work necessary to be successful. But he will have to explain that. Yeah. Objective is to say, when I say small, I mean lacking power. If she gets a negative weight, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Walaz has practiced better from. He said he practiced better form in practice, but his body resort to his natural form in races. Yeah, I think that was what I was saying too. Yeah, it may take some time. Eric says, don't forget Price used to beat Amber and the likes badly every weekend too. What does size have to do with that? Yeah, she had a really, I mean, she was rocking up against a bunch of these athletes, Rashidat, all of them. Arkansas is loaded. I think she's fine. Hopefully, once she's healthy, she should run well. And we'll see. Ferdinand is saying Nene want to watch for 400. I like him. He has to start cracking sub 44s. You know, he has the one at altitude, but if he can start running those times at sea level, then we're talking about a different type of athlete. Objectively, do you think Sha'Carri likes the sport? I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting question. Why are you asking in that way? I think she likes to be on top of the world. I mean, it's an interesting. It's hard to know. That's why I don't like to go down the line of whether people like the sport because it's very hard to know. I think Sha'Carri runs when the prize money is right. I I think there's some injury thing going on that they're not talking about. We'll see. It's the same like with Sydney. You know, although Sydney pushes back about like how much running do you expect her to do, she has pushed back at people saying that she doesn't run enough. When you're financially sound, you can pick and choose the races. If you're fans, you want to see athletes run all day, every day, and that's not possible either, right? You shouldn't do that, especially in some events. The distance people can run a lot. Quincy Hall was a 400. Quincy was a 400-meter hurdler, 48.10. Yeah, he's good. I mean, his lung capacity is next level. I see you're saying South African athletes P2 early they will struggle to reach the finals in Tokyo. There's always a question about like the Aussies and the South Africans when they're on the other hemisphere and so on. It's a matter about how you manage that kind of season because the summers are different, but they can and they should. Where are we right now with the comments? And thanks for everyone for chipping in with the comments. I feel she doesn't. I think she does it because she's talented. That's in response to Richard's. So what would make you think she wants to like the sport more? That's like interesting question there. Yeah, you want what people want is always the athletes popping up and running every week, right? I get it. But there's different reasons it doesn't always happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Kimani, the sport doesn't make Shakari money, the media does. Well, she has big Nike contract. You don't get that if you're not an athlete. And she has these with Sprite and all that. She transcends the sport. Whether we like it or not, how she transcends the sport, she has transcended the sport. She was a precocious talent ever since we saw her LSU. There's some stuff that didn't happen in her life the right way, or some decisions she also didn't make properly. And she won the world title a couple of years ago in Budapest. And she is an Olympic silver medalist over 100 meters and also a gold medalist. So, and in a big media market like the United States, where she makes money, right? In a market that because she transcends the sport, right? People don't. The reason why sometimes people get annoyed with Shakar is because of the fans who don't know anything about track and field, and that happens because there's a lot of people who like her for whatever reason. I'm not here to kind of to go through all of that part, but when you can command a big kind of money that way, then you can make decisions, right? In terms of when you want to run. Yeah. Objective said Julien loves it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Shakar is oversubscribed. She's not the fastest woman in the world. I guess he meant fastest, yeah. I think Melissa loves it. We're now on the love train for the sport. I mean, that's why I understand the argument, but I'm always hesitant about it because it's hard to know what that really means. All in the Game says odds of sub 50 400 world record from Sid this year. Amen. Yeah, the 400-meter hurdles. I don't know. Last year we got a couple stuff and we were like thinking about whether it could happen. I'm not sure though. When we looked at it last year, All in the Game, and others, when I back of the hand calculated the whole thing, we were like, where does she find extra times? How does she make up that time to go sub 50? I don't know if I have come to an answer to that or if anybody has the answer to that. So she runs what? What was it? She breaks the world. How many times she broke the world record last year? Twice? 3 times? I don't remember. So she runs a 50:37 in the Stade de France. To go sub 50, what are you looking at? Where is she making up the extra couple meters from? It might have to be. I just don't know. That's a good question you're asking. I'm stunned by trying to think. I believe it can happen, but I don't. I'm trying to think how. So let's take Femke. Femke is trying to attack the hurdles in a weird way. Weak leg, strong leg, change a lot more changing than usual. And I suspect they're doing that because they're trying to figure out ways to get closer to Sydney. Will it work? I don't know. You could get closer and still lose, but you have to make up these times. I don't know. It's possible. I think she has a better chance of running a very, very low 400 meters before going sub 50 in the 400-meter hurdles. Yeah, but we'll see. Let me get back to some more here. Asir and the two Charltons, Strachan and Miller Weibo, can be a good relay quartet for Bahamas. Well, if they're healthy, yes, yeah, but they can't make it. They didn't even go to the world relays. It's a challenge. I don't know. Speaking of that, I saw some report that there's there's 3 events the Jamaican administrators named for trying to get qualifying standards for the World Championships. Yeah, let's hope it happens. Yeah, the chat is good today. Appreciate that. All in the game is responding, saying, been screaming for Bahamas to put together relay teams of the Charlton sisters, Shawnee, Antoinette Strawn, and then Andrews Gardner, McCoy, and Terrence Jones. It could work. Can they get them in the same space? I don't know. Yeah. Come on, say I hate my job. They pay 6, so I love my job. Oh, you mean you're talking in response to the someone else? Yeah. Simbini ran his PB in Tokyo, not peaking too. I guess you meant too fast. I don't know. Yeah, Simbini started out hot. He's cooled off, which is the right thing to do, and we'll get to see him later on. Wayne is saying Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good seeing you, Wayne. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a good, probably should call it. I've been on the live for 2 hours and 36 minutes. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a cool time hanging out with you guys. We'll try to get back on another live soon, as usual. Lots of more track and field coming up in the week. Paris is next. Should be great there. And I'll see you guys soon. Y'all take care and have a great evening. Bye bye.